What is up, YouTube? Happy New Year's Eve. We're going to start digging into this Honda real quick. We don't have all that long. We're going out for dinner and then going to meet up with some friends. Bring in the new year together. But showed up on the porch today, the Amazon box. When I was working on the heads the other day in that far corner, I decided that I needed a new vise. Bought a cheapo Chinese crappy one because I don't really need a big heavy duty vise up here. We'll see what happens. This is kind of an unboxing video. It was one of the cheapest ones I could find on Amazon. I have no idea what to expect. There's also several cocktails in, so I don't know what it even was. This is hard. One-handed. The struggle is real. Box in a box is what we got so far. Well, anyways, crappy little vise. Let me throw you guys on a tripod. I'll just open this up real quick. Much easier with two hands. Okay, so this goes this way. Oh yeah, super high quality. It's tiny. But for what I need, that is it. They do give you a template to drill some holes in your bench. And that's it. Perfect. Should work. Covered in oil. For house things, this is probably honestly all I'm ever going to need. I don't need a giant one. It doesn't even have to work that well. It just has to hold a couple little odds and ends on the end of the table so I don't have to climb into the corner. That one I got over there is super broken right now. Jaws are all busted up. But the algorithm got me. Got some soft jaws too. So hopefully that'll somehow work on there. I think they're magnetic. We'll find out. Despite all that, that is not what we're here for. We are taking apart the motor on this Honda, which means the motor's got to come out. So I'm going to quickly get this prepped because I got about 40 minutes before I start getting yelled at about not getting ready or doing anything else. Been working up at the shop all day. I did get the iron head, that blue one, that blue Sporty I had. I was having some problems with that one, and nothing major, but it was running absolutely perfect, and except for the brake light switch. I finally got that resolved today, so I'll do a video on that. I meant to start filming, but I was working next to the compressor, and it was just way too loud. So instead, went through, ordered a new battery for it, and this is the second brand new battery that I've had to put in that bike. The one I got today, I upgraded to a gel type, the AGM, instead of the acid filled. Put the new battery in, all of the issues that I had went away. Before I put the new battery in, I was doing a quick diag on it. I left the battery on a charger, had a full charge under any cranking amps. It dropped down to about 2 volts, and then smelled like burning sulfur, and the circuit breaker kept tripping. So I'd click the key on and I would hear a click, click on the circuit breaker, one of the accessory ones. Put the new battery in, all of that went away. I legitimately had a completely bad battery. It must have dropped a cell or something, and something was shorting out internally, because when I yanked the old battery out, the battery was super warm. New one bolted in, went in. There's no shorts, there's no other issues. Everything runs perfect, fired up immediately like it's supposed to, idle's good. So I think it just posted a short of that running, at least starting up and running. So that one's finally resolved. Got a couple more little odds and ends to take care of. I do want to get the horn working on that. That's the only thing on that bike that is not currently working. So I got to go through, fix the horn. But until then, let's dig into this Honda. I'm not doing all that much. I'm going to pull the seat, pull the tank, just give myself a little bit of room to work. So on these Hondas, if I remember correctly, I need the key, which I probably already have in the seat lock. Nope. Oh, I popped that last night. Forgot about that. Winning. We got 2 little cotter pins that hold the seat in place. Try not to lose these ones. 1 and 2. Trying to angle this up a little so we don't lose it. So 2 cotter pins. and a washer. And there we have it. Seat is gone. Slap these back together so you don't lose them. Okay. I did cheat. I already pulled this. You got a rubber grommet that wraps on top of the tank here like so. I pulled that off already. I think I got the fuel line off. I don't remember. Yeah, I separated the fuel line right off the petcock side. So the tank is free. Turn the gas off. This should be good to go. Oh, super full. Tank is off, seat's off, gives me tons of room to work. I like Harleys. I prefer working on Harleys. I have a soft spot for these because this is what I started working on. I cannot tell you how much I hate 4 banks of carburetors. I love working on carburetors. The 4, trying to get these all synced and dialed is such a pain in the ass. Don't miss that part one bit, but these intake boots are the factory ones. They tend to dry rot out and crack a ton, so you get a bunch of air leaks there. I got to double check all of these little vent tube fittings for the adjustments. And then we'll set up the 4 bank and get these resynced up after we are done going through the whole motor. But in order to do that, I got 4 intake boot clamps that are a huge pain in the ass to get to. So let's grab our screwdriver. I feel like they also use weird sizes on the bolts too, but with 4 carbs it makes it super fun to get to these inside ones. I told the kid that I'm working on this bike for that I'll go through and do all of this, but he's in charge of putting the carbs back on, because wrestling these 4-cylinder carbs back on in between the manifolds and the stock airbox, not the greatest time in the world. And by that I mean it's one of my least favorite things. So I'll try and get the carbs yanked off and then just kind of clear a little bit of space to start working on the motor tomorrow. 2 are off, surprisingly easy on those 2, which means that the next 2 are going to fight me like crazy. What do you bet? So on this, it really sucks. On a Harley, you get your left and right side, and they're pretty different. On these, the cases themselves are definitely different, but everything I have to do on this, I have to do twice. So intake boot there. Let's get to the inside one. And if I'm trying to film all of this, and I gotta bring the camera back and forth, and that's just a pain in the ass. So we're gonna do our best trying to get most of this documented, but I make no guarantees or no promises. And I forgot the intake bolt on the air filter. That would probably come in handy too, which is conveniently located directly behind the frame rail. Jap bike problem. They run great when they're working, but they are a pain in the ass to work on. For you Honda guys that love doing stuff like this, I give you props. This really isn't that bad if you got a set of pod filters or something on there. A little bit of cooperation would be nice. Oh, all right. There we have it. Carbs are semi-free. Let's pull these cables real quick. Oh, yeah, Hondas run their adjuster brackets on these as well. So you will need a 10 mil to adjust the cable in order to get it out. Loosen that enough to get that free. His return cable, he's only got the pull. The return's already busted. Don't know if we're going to be putting that one back on or not. If you want a cool, easy old bike to work on, buy a Harley. Victory! As promised, I will give this to him. He gets to wrestle these back in. That is the exact reason why I stopped working on Japanese bikes. Because I hate these so much. However, this one came off. Honda pretty much has these rubber boots, so I'm going to replace all of these. These are essentially little mini velocity stacks, the way they're set up. This goes in, this ridge right here is where it fits into the airbox, but they got stacks that go past it on this design from the central intake, and then you can see here how that kind of works. Hopefully that shows up in camera. Here's your velocity stack. As much as I love and hate them all in the same. They have their problems, but they also have a lot of things that they did really well, and you cannot deny their runnability in terms of making good motors and strong performing motors, especially for what they are. For a little 350, this bike is a blast. I've raced Justice several times on Shovelhead, not the Chopper. The Chopper's substantially faster than this, but even on the Super Glide. Super Glide's a heavy pig. It gets up and goes okay for everything I need it to do, but this is a lot more fun to ride. That's a nice cruiser. This is just all around good old time. So I think what we're gonna do, I'm gonna pull the spark plug wires off. Like I said, I'm kind of racing the clock here. I don't have all the time in the world, unfortunately. But we're gonna pull the plug wires off, get these all free, and maybe I'll pull the tack if this breaks free easily, which it's not, because it's a Honda, and why would it? So I'll need to grab an impact screwdriver for that one. Yeah, it's been a while since I've had to use all of these tools. If you're gonna work on old Hondas, you are 100% gonna need to invest in an impact driver. They come in handy on Harleys too, but Honda uses Phillips head screws on all of these, and if I remember correctly, it's actually a weird size. It's a Japanese metric size that doesn't relate to most of the screwdrivers you get. So like a number 2 screwdriver is going to be your closest one, but it's not technically a number 2. So that's kind of goofy. Just something to keep in mind if you're messing around on these. I don't know what the name of that is. It's been a while since I messed around with that. But I do know that they're different. Throwing the idle screw back into these carburetors. Set this on the floor to drain. Those will get a full cleanup, deep clean rebuild this time instead of a quick one like we did when we got it running. Then, clutch cable. How do you work? Are you going to be easy on me and let me slip the wire out or the cable out? No, why would you do that? Take some tension off of this real quick. So I need this rubber boot to come up like so. I need to push this out. It's about there. It's probably not the right way to do it, but it should work. There we go. Clutch cable's free. Throttle cables are free. Let's see if I can loop all of these around and get them up and out of my way. Maybe they'll stay up here behind the horn. Like so. Plugs are off. Breather tube can come off. Like so. We got the ignition wires here. Yellow and blue on a Honda. That I do remember. What do we have on the rest of this? This can stay over here. Loop this way. This will go down to the points, but that's free. That'll come off with the motor. think we're going to have to pull the oil filter housing off, which will make a big old mess, but we'll be doing an oil change with that anyway. Now we're down to the exhaust, and I don't know if the brake arm stuff has to come off. Pegs fixed to the frame. Like I said, I'm not an expert in this. On a Harley, I could tell you exactly what needs to come off and not come off for a motor pull. But on this, you guys are doing this with me for the first time. I've done a couple of these Honda motors in the past. 550s, 450s, 360 twins. Have not done a, oh, that's a lie. Have done the 4-cylinder ones too, just not a 350 version. I think this is exactly like a 550 or maybe a 450. Don't quote me on any of that. Like I said, I'm not a big Honda guy. I just like working on bikes. So there's our lead for that. And then we're going to have the one wire up to the starter solenoid. So I'll pop this one off, and that should free up all of the wiring. Let me grab that 10 mil again. Don't know why I put it away. Pretty much every bolt on this is a 10 mil. Maybe a 12, who knows. Battery's already disconnected, so I don't have to worry about anything on that. But disconnect this and put the nut back on so I don't lose it. That's the big part on this bike, is not losing parts. On Harley stuff, I don't really care about losing miscellaneous bolts here and there. I like keeping factory bolts when I can, but it's all standard hardware. It's not too hard to grab at the parts store, and it's affordable. You start getting into this metric crap where I gotta buy individual bolts all the time. That's really what gets you on any build. It's that last end of the line hardware scenario. Okay, then shifter can stay on for now. I'm not gonna mess with that. I think that should clear when it comes out. For some reason, I think I gotta pull this top breather valve assembly up here. Maybe I don't, we'll find that out. I got a motor mount here, motor mount down here that goes through the bottom of the frame that mounts to the foot pegs, and then the front motor mount bracket, kind of similar to a Sportster, where you got the extra brackets that bolt to the frame and then also bolt to the motor. So take these ones out, the motor should actually drop down a hair, and then I got motor mount bolts down below. So 1, 2, 3, and then the front ones. Chain's still connected, so we gotta split all that too, but just trying to get a quick setup here. Pipes I'm not gonna take off right now, those will come off tomorrow. Chain will come off tomorrow. And then the goal for New Year's Day, since I'm not working, is to get this motor completely out of the bike. And I think that's where we're going to leave off for tonight, since we are running out of time and I am now completely dirty. Gotta take a shower, get ready to go out into the world instead of spending the night in the garage. I'd rather be here. Hopefully you guys would like to join me. Anywho, thanks for watching. More of the CB350 coming your way. Next video will be getting this motor completely out of the bike. Then this roller gets to go away, and hopefully I get an update on the cases in the next couple days. With the holidays, everybody's kind of backlogged at least a couple days, if not more. So we will go ahead and wrap this one up. Thanks for watching. Hit that like button or subscribe if you want to follow along with the CB350 engine rebuild. Or if you like Harley stuff, we got a ton of that too. Happy New Year's. Wish everybody the best. Be safe. Have fun. We'll catch you guys next year.